Good evening and welcome back to the Foul Playland. As always, I'm your foul player. I'm joined by my special host. Good evening, or my special co-host, guest, if you will, Stefan Martinez, and we are here to discuss largely the Marlins COVID-19 outbreak that's happened. Um, and I'll give you a little bit of a backstory as far as on a personal level. I know zero about this, with the exception of listening to it a little bit on WFAN and ESPN Sports Radio this afternoon. Immediately upon hearing it, I turned the radio off and listened to something else. And this was maybe 2 hours ago. So, for the most part today, my guest host, Stefan Martinez, is going to be carrying the bulk of this show as far as info goes, because you're looking at this from as far as I go as a novice, because I know zero about the subject at hand. So I'm gonna let my guest host Stefan Martinez cook for the most part. But before we even get that started, Stefan, could you let the people know where they could find you as far as your social media and otherwise?
Stefan Martinez is my official Facebook. Stefan3CM is the Twitter account, and the Instagram is Stefan Martinez 300. So you can find me on all three of those places. If you wanted to um, follow anything that I'm working on, or all the craziness that's happening in baseball and around the sports landscape. So um, like you've already seen, I got the phone glued to my hand. I'm actually, texting and talking to different people now. So, um, been a crazy couple hours, man.
Yeah. So if you could give us a rudimentary, like, general gist of what's happened today with the Marlins and as it pertains to this situation and any other associated teams. But if you could break down the Marlins situation first.
So what happened basically with the Marlins was that they had four positive tests on Saturday before the game. The catcher Jorge Alfaro was one of the guys. Jose Urena, who was one of their young starters, he tested positive. Um,
Was
the
Darnell part of it?
Darno was part of the Braves patch, yes, because
Oh, okay.
Atlanta had a few COVID positive. Both their catches, Travis Darno and Tyler Flowers, both tested positive for COVID before
My
they
bad. Yeah.
came. They came to Citi Field on Thursday. So, and they were just in. The Marlins were just in Atlanta a couple days before they started the season in Philadelphia. So the Marlins came straight from Atlanta to Philadelphia. And Atlanta is where people think they may have got it, which is why the Phillies were being extra cautious. The Phillies were being extra suspicious when they would look over in the Marlins dugout throughout the course of the weekend, and nobody was wearing a mask, even in the dugout. And so people were being, extra cautious, like what's going on with them, or why they're working out in groups. They're not, nobody's social distancing really. So there was this that set alarm bells off inside of the Phillies clubhouse and all that. And then yesterday, just the foolishness of the Marlins. Oh, we're gonna try and play anyway. Are you kidding me? So you're gonna endanger a whole nother team because you want to play anyway. That's
So
smart.
as far as what you know, like, when do you think that they first caught wind of a potential players that were
Like
affected on the Miami
I think
side?
they knew. I think they knew Saturday, but they only knew four players at the time. They didn't know the list had grown to now it's 14 staff members with the Marlins, including 11 players. Brian Anderson, the kid Lewis Brinson, the outfielder. Half their team basically has coronavirus,
So
and that
when
wasn't
I
that
mean,
wasn't.
on in your opinion, what do you think is the earliest that they knew of this situation? Of Saturday, Friday?
I would say that they knew late Saturday morning into late Friday night into Saturday morning, and then the rest of the test came back positive early this morning. probably like 2, 3 in the morning, the results were released to the Marlins hotel, which is when they found out, and they were supposed to be flying home to Miami to play the Orioles in their home opener. That's been postponed, and the Orioles actually flew back to Baltimore tonight. They fly back. They leave probably in the next, 20, 30 minutes to fly back to Baltimore. So if that's where we're at, then the Marlins pretty much forewent playing games in the next 2 days, and they're supposed to fly to Baltimore for Wednesday and Thursday's games, but that might not happen either now.
I mean, if you had to, and before actually, and so what do you know as far as the Philly situation? Because the little rumblings that I did hear, there were people in the Phillies that had contracted the Rona, in addition to the Miami players.
Well, nobody on the Philly side has been announced yet. What Philly did today was they basically tested the whole roster again. Everybody was at Citizens Bank. They got COVID tests, and then they're waiting on results that are supposed to come in tonight, so they can figure out what to do between them and the Yankees for the game tomorrow, and then the games at Yankee Stadium on Wednesday and Thursday. So nobody knows what the Phillies are doing yet until we get those test results back for the coronavirus testing for the Phillies. And the Yankees are already in Philadelphia. They're already there. They were getting ready to play a game until stuff got called off this morning, where the clubhouse in Philadelphia basically had to be re-disinfected and everything that had to go down. So the Yankees are in their own hotel. They're not in the same hotel with the Marlins. They're in the middle of Philadelphia, or what's called Centerville, Philadelphia, and the Marlins are not that close, not that close in proximity.
So as far as you know, thus far, like what games have been canceled or postponed?
Well, the only two games that have officially been postponed was the Marlins Orioles earlier today. They postponed that, and they also postponed the Yankees national game, which was supposed to take place tonight. So those are the only two games on the schedule that we know about that have been canceled. Everybody else is playing as scheduled.
As far as blame, when it comes just to the blame that could be allocated towards the Marlins, like who do you think like made the call, or not blame so to say, but who do you think on the Marlins side made the call, like for business to go on in spite of the positive test that may have um, known of this Saturday?
Well, you got to blame the players to some degree, right? I mean, you told the players know they have to be social distance for themselves. They have to be accountable for when they go out and they do things and they're in the public eye and they're going out to, go out to eat to restaurants and or party in certain cases. So the players themselves are culpable, but you also got to look at Don Mattingly and the front office and go, bro, we had 4 players test positive for COVID. Let's kind of reevaluate. I mean, postpone these, especially the game on Sunday. Why was the game played? I don't understand it. I don't understand why somebody from the Phillies didn't go, hey man, hold up. Let's get this canceled, because last thing you want to do is postpone games and infect a whole other organization to whatever you might have had, and it puts the whole season in jeopardy from an integrity standpoint. So both sides are culpable for the game that was played yesterday.
You mean management and players?
On both sides, yeah, because somebody should have stepped in and said, "Hey, let's stop this." And I'm surprised Joe Girardi, who is, one of the veteran voices in the game, the new manager for the Phillies, didn't step in and go, "Hold up, wait a minute, you know, you just got 4 guys that tested positive for coronavirus. Let's reevaluate this thing." And they still went out and played yesterday, and now the Phillies are hoping that they get back these test results and that nobody is infected with coronavirus.
All right, now for those of you that don't know, my man Stefan, I've already said it many times, gets the scoops. Like he knows a lot of information that a lot of people don't know. And I'm just gonna ask a roundabout question, and that's more like whatever you feel comfortable with, Steph. If you don't want to blow up spots or don't, you know what I'm saying? But do you think that there's any reason, from what you know, as to how the Marlins players may have gotten sick from anything in the grapevine or
Well, for point of context, they're a young team. The average age on this team is like 25 years old. So
in
we're talking
Miami?
about yeah, we're talking about a bunch of young guys that there's no real leaders on that Miami team. Like the oldest player is Garrett Cooper, and Garrett Cooper's only 26. So, there's not very much of a veteran presence where if you do this and it affects you, it affects others around the league too. And the Marlins, they're young. They're gonna want to go out and experience different things. And you don't want to be stuck in a hotel room on the road, especially in beautiful weather. You want to go out and experience some things, but you also got to be responsible for other people's actions as well as your own. And nobody on the player side, it feels like, did their job and said, let's try to cartel this thing so we could keep playing. Because now basically you might have put the whole season in jeopardy just by your actions and your, you know, lack of judgment. So, and it was an interesting point that I heard somebody bring up today when they said the Marlins probably already feel like we're not gonna win nothing. We're not gonna make the playoffs. We're not gonna be a contending team. So we're just gonna go about this willy nilly, and whatever happens, happens. But it affects everybody else in the sport because, like I just said, the Yankees and the um, Phillies will postpone tonight because of something that the Marlins did carelessly and recklessly. Now, I don't know who to blame directly. I mean, I have an idea, but I'm not going to get into specifics because I don't think it's fair to the player or players, But I think that the organization as a whole is culpable for this, from Mike Hill, the general manager, all the way to Don Mattingly, who is the manager of the club. Everybody got to blame in this.
Yeah, for those of you listening live on Facebook, and for those of you hanging with us on YouTube, I'd like to thank you for coming through. If you have any questions, you could feel free to drop them in any of the chats. Also, if you hear any sound in the background for some reason within the sweltering 90-degree heat at 6:09 p.m., seemingly they're doing some sort of construction on my block with some sort of drilling operation. Wasn't partaking when this shit started, so I like
Right.
to offer my apologies. But the I'd also like to ask you too. Do you think Rob Manfred was privy to any of this? Say Saturday.
Who? Major League Baseball is in contact with all these teams because again, you're playing in literally uncharted territory. You don't. I mean, we've never seen anything like this in sports. All this has been an experience as we go along. Like we've never dealt with anything like this. Nobody's really had conversations about what may have, you know, caused whatever the Marlins, whoever was exposed. Like Manfred, I'm sure he had an idea because you're the commissioner of baseball. You have to have an idea what's going on in your sport. And if he didn't, that's that's inexcusable on his part. Now, I do know that Major League Baseball is willing to update its protocols whenever something like this was to happen. They do want to make sure that they keep vigilant in terms of updating the protocols if the whole teams get infected or teams get infected or if it changes from time to time. Like Rob Manfred has the authority to unilaterally say, "All right, the season's over," because the integrity of the game and the competition aspect is affected because somebody else ended up with the coronavirus. And it affected a whole bunch of players and not just one particular player. So he has the authority to unilaterally say, "Hey, man, the season's pretty much over," and that's where we're at right now. We're waiting for Major League Baseball to. And here's another thing, Joe. The fact that Major League Baseball has not put out a statement yet from their official Twitter account or the official whatever or a statement of any kind is baffling to me. Baffling. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Major League Baseball? Listen, and I'm not the public opinion police. I have nothing to do with that. That's not on me. I can't say who's dropped the ball or whatever the case. But the fact that there's no statement on a day like this where one of your franchises has 14 positive cases. And by the way, the White Sox manager, Edgar um, Renteria, I forgot his first name, he might have tested positive for COVID. So you have managers now testing positive for this.
Sucks, man. Yeah,
Craziness.
it's a very unfortunate situation. I'm gonna get back and at the end of all this, and I'll make an annotation that to get your synopsis solely on Manfred. I think Manfred's doing a shitty job, if you ask me.
Horrible job.
But
Horrible
not too
job.
many.
But
Like,
we
for some reason, Manfred gets a big time pass. But I'll get to that in at the towards the end of the show. Could you let the people know as far as what these postponements if they're going to be made up at the end of the league, at the end of the year, or anything that you know in that vein?
well, a couple of people with both teams texted me and went, there's two open dates at the end of the season that it's to
Cook,
be
Stefan. I'm going to
determined.
turn on my AC. Keep cooking.
So to be determined is what they're telling everybody because they don't know what the official dates are yet. So the interesting part about this is that if there are two off dates and they know they can get the two off dates in, then they'll play the game whenever they can, whenever both teams officially say, listen, we got an off day here, let's do this. One thing that was brought up to me by a source today was why don't they just play all four games at Yankee Stadium and knock the series out so you don't have travel late in the season when it's already a 60 game season and 66 days and you put additional travel and people got to get on a plane and fly and all this other stuff. Why don't you just play all four games at Yankee Stadium and eliminate the four games that you would have had to play, or one of the four at least?
Yeah, I mean, I see why that would be cool, but I also see like some of the players, especially on a team like the Marlins, who are going about the year willy nilly, like
Right.
maybe bitching about having to play double headers back to back. And then it's not. I know we're talking about the Phillies and Yankees more, but
Right.
say the Marlins do get to resume baseball activities, maybe a team
Mhm.
that's not committed or that's out of the playoff picture, or
Right. Mhm.
able to compete with then
It's like the
would be.
Tigers and Red Sox. Like if all the Tigers and Red Sox, if a game is postponed due to coronavirus, are they gonna want to make it up, or they just figure, you know what, let them have the win. We're not gonna. Makes no sense for us to go out here and play this game when we're already mathematically eliminated. We're probably gonna win like 15, 20 games the whole year. Why put ourselves at risk?
What do you say to that? Like, too. I mean, like, because I was thinking about that when I was in the whip. As far as teams conceding wins in an event like that, would you be cool with that
Under the
personally?
circumstances, yes,
Me
because
too.
you don't know if you're getting on a plane and somebody you're sitting next to, or if the plane was cleaned perfectly, or if you know what I mean. You don't know what you could be putting yourself into and exposing yourself and other players to if you're not careful. So, under the circumstances, I'm all for you know the season being or a game being postponed due to something like that per se.
All right. Now to close this part of the conversation off,
Hmm.
um, and back to what I was alluding to earlier. Personally, I think that Manfred's been a little bit of a fuck up, um, starting late last year, maybe till now.
Right.
I'm pretty sure your opinion on him is not too endearing either.
No,
But
I don't have a great. They don't like me up there on Park Avenue, brother.
yeah, but could you give your rundown of what you think of Rob Manfred's performances with this situation and with some of the other things that he's follied on
Well, I'll say this.
in
I
recent history?
look. If you want to go back, he screwed this up all the way from the jump when he basically said we're gonna have a season, and then we're not gonna have a season, and then we're gonna have a 60-game season, and we're gonna go through all the labor problems, and that the owners negotiated in good faith, and that the players are being, they didn't negotiate well and whatnot, whatever the case is. So it already shows you from that standpoint that he's lacked the leadership to even get a season off the ground, let alone how to deal with a pandemic when you got 150,000 Americans already, died and countless numbers of lost jobs. He's done a horrible job as the leader of the sport in getting them to come together and say, you know what, for the good of the game, let's just put our egos to the side. Let's play as many games as we can play feasibly, and let's not do any irreparable damage to the sport, which he's already done, going back to, eliminating the minor leagues, trying to eliminate affiliates for these teams, and because he doesn't think that we should pay for minor league stadiums to be renovated. I mean, this guy's dropped the ball all the way from the jump. He hasn't been good at all. I just think that he's had a very irresponsible approach to all of this. And that's the problem. Nobody's thought about this responsibly. And look, Joe, I'll say this, even for the coronavirus thing, how is it that we're just trying to get to the protocol stuff now? What are we doing with this?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's no plan in place.
There is none. And the thing is, and I blame Tony Clark, too, the head of the Players Association, for saying, okay, we'll get you.
I don't fucks with Clark either, bro. He's another butcher.
Here's the thing. Both sides just said, we want baseball, we want to get back on the field, but they had no real plan how to get us there. Everything was infighting. Well, this side doesn't want this, and this side's not being truthful, and this side just feels this way. And it's a bunch of garbage. It is a bunch of garbage, which is why this season had to be played, Joe. Okay? I'm going to take you guys inside. You want some inside? Here's inside. I'm gonna piss people off with this, but you know what? So the fuck what? There had to be a season this year. Do you know why? The CBA expires December 1st, 2021. Do you know what that means? The 2022 season probably will not be played. We're heading for a lockout. And people have looked at me like, oh, you got to be hopeful. With these two buffoons walking around here leading the sport, you want me to be hopeful. Okay, I'll play along. I'll play your game. Sure. Sure, let's play the hopeful game. Hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Sure, I'll play along. Fine, great. No, sports in bad shape right now, and it's all because of greed, and it's all because both sides don't want to give an inch when they're losing yards, Joe, yards, and they're being selfish.
Do you think there's a possibility that some teams are eliminated from the sport outright this year in the hopes of continuing business?
What do you mean? Where teams are just fold because they can't afford to, you know what I mean? Hey, man.
I mean, personally, like if it's a question of the Marlins shutting it down for this year, it's no sweat off anybody's ass. I think business resumes.
Right.
When you talk about the Red Sox, like, or the, God forbid the Yankees, bowing out. Right. I mean, the season's done.
Like, so do you think I'll say this: if you said 11 Yankees caught COVID, we're not playing baseball again this year.
Hell no.
I believe
even I think even if you say 11 Tigers, we're lucky that it's the Marlins right now.
If 11 Brewers caught COVID and one of them was Christian Yelich, we ain't playing. Hell no.
Yeah.
Or let me hear that Yachty caught COVID. If Yachty catches COVID, brother, we out.
Yeah, pack it up.
Put the season down. On a serious note, I know we're laughing, but did you hear what's going on with Eduardo Rodriguez? Because this all relates.
No.
The pitcher for the Red Sox, left-handed, young. Brother's only 25. Okay, he has inflammation around his heart from COVID. He got
Oh,
COVID, he
wow.
recovered, and now he's having heart issues and is in a Boston hospital right now, literally fighting for his life. This is real. And the brother had no underlying conditions whatsoever. This is very, very real. Like this, and then you hear from different teams around the sport, and I'm not gonna air nobody out, but Michael Kay went on the radio today and said that he spoke to an agent who said that, one of their prominent players, the best player on the team, is not wearing a mask and trying to go out to the strip club the other night. And I'm like, dog, you in the middle. You know that's like some Lou Williams. We
You doing
went
some
to
NBA shit.
we did some Lou Williams. I'm gonna go to Magic City for some chicken wings. Like, bro, come
Nah,
on,
that's
man.
exact. Yo, Steph. Honestly, that's exactly what happened. Like, it's no surprise that this happens within the Miami vicinity. Like, you know, um,
Atlanta
Atlanta.
got
Yeah,
some joints down there now. they got some joints down there. If you ain't careful, you can get caught up. But it's just it's yo. And here's the thing, bruh. This could have all been avoided. And this is the thing I want to point out to you, and I want your feedback from this, because I don't know if you heard this yet. Rob Manfred wanted this season in a bubble. They were talking about, remember, they were talking about Phoenix. They were talking about Florida. They talked about LA for half a minute. They talked about all of this, right? The players are like, nah, we're not doing the bubble. That's a non-starter for us. We ain't doing that. So you're gonna tell me you didn't want the bubble because you want to play in your home yard, and then when 11 players on one of your teams catches this virus, now you want to say that they're not doing the best for the players? How many games did you watch this weekend when they were high-fiving each other? Cespedes
yeah.
hits the home run. Cespedes hits the home run on Thursday, and they're hugging in the dugout. No one asked nothing.
Word up.
I'm like, yeah, but you're not doing nothing to protect the players. How about you protect yourselves?
Word
Protect
up.
yourselves. If you want to keep making this money and you want to have the freedom to be able to do your jobs, you have to be responsible right now. You have to be. This is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yo, it's nuts, bro.
No, it's highly unfortunate, like the way this thing played out. I'm gonna adjust my camera real quick for Facebook. But actually, so what do you think the chances are if you had to put a wager down that I'll put it like this, that we get into the middle of August for this season, and what do you wager for us finishing this regular season?
If we get to August, bro, that's a modern miracle. Like we need to do all victory lap. Everybody need to come together and just do a victory lap one time. If we get to August, the way this is going, brother, that's a small miracle. Do they finish the season? Hell no. Do they get to the postseason? Hell no. I don't see it.
Yeah,
So
should have done the bubble, man.
I'm gonna enjoy baseball while I can get it, because Lord knows the way these young boys is acting out here, this ain't good. Like, I'll give you some. You know what the Yankees did? Because they're dead serious about trying to win a chip in 2020, even though it's 60 games. Instead of having your young boys go out like your Tyler Wades and then do Hars and then Torreses, and you know what I mean? You know what Garrett Cole and Brett Gardner did? Come on, bro. We're gonna order a bunch of Peter Lugers. We're gonna have it delivered to the hotel, and we're gonna watch baseball all night. Have a couple bottles of wine delivered. We be all right. Nobody's gonna leave this bubble because you ain't costing me a World Series. Hell to the no. We in here together, dog. We lock in key. You know what I mean? These players ain't playing, dog. Peter Lugans, couple bottles of wine, and let's watch some baseball. Y'all ain't leaving the hotel, dog. I'm
Nah, they
out on that.
wallet, man. And it's the Marlins, bro. Like,
I'm out on that.
no matter what, your season was gonna be done September anyway as the Marlins, bro. Like,
But
these dudes irk me.
that's why, because they figure we ain't making the playoffs, so why abide by the safety protocol? Now, I'm not saying that's what they did. Don't misunderstand my statement. I'm not saying that that's what the Marlins did. But to be abundantly clear, you don't think they were thinking that? Really? They're like, our season's over September 27th, dog. We out.
Cornballs,
We
bro.
out.
Bunch of cornballs. All right, man. I don't want to cry about this situation because it's
But
mad
real quick,
depressing.
Let me get to the injuries though before we get on out of here. There was some very key injuries over the this
No. Yeah,
weekend.
I wanted to lead right into that, man. Like, you and me discussed this
Joe about
beforehand.
Joe
There
about to
was
cry. Look at him. Look at him.
yeah.
You don't know what look at
No,
him.
I'm fighting. Yo, little dead ass, bro. I've been awake since 10 last night. I slept like fucking 3 hours, maybe. I'm fighting to stay awake, so I should watch the fucking Mets, and it's because I know I may not watch the Mets past this fucking Thursday if I'm lucky. But
If
you
he's
also
lucky.
mentioned some long-term injuries that before this stream started. You mentioned some long-term injuries that a couple of pitchers faced. Could you cook on that and let me know if you know of any other injuries that happened, pitchers or
Well,
non-pitchers?
all right, we got a bunch of injuries. Randall Grichuk for the Blue Jays, the left fielder, he left the game yesterday with a back hip issue. We don't know how serious that is, but that's a big blow to the lineup because that guy got pop and is productive when he's healthy. But he's hurt for the Blue Jays. Luis Robert, the prime prospect for the Eloy Jimenez. I'm sorry, Eloy Jimenez, the one of the prime prospects for the White Sox, ran into the left field wall and is in concussion protocol. And Lord knows when he's going to play again. Ken Giles might have blown out his elbow on the mound in Tampa yesterday. Threw a pitch, didn't feel right. Gotta go. Justin Verlander went 6, looked sharp against Seattle Saturday night. Felt the twinge in the elbow Sunday morning, didn't feel good. Got an MRI, got a flexor tendon issue in his pitching arm, which is a red flag for Tommy John surgery. So who knows how long JV is going to be out. We just received word this morning that Corey Kluber basically tore the entire back of his shoulder after 10 pitches in his season debut for the Texas Rangers yesterday.
Kluber's out for the year, you believe?
Yeah, because he's not going to throw a ball for the next 4 weeks, and then he got to get into rehab. And remember, the season's only 2 months long, so 4 weeks is basically pretty much, and that's he can't pick up a ball for 4 weeks, let alone he has to rehab and go through the process of getting himself together to pitch. And Texas may be out of it by that point.
How long they acquired him via trade, right?
This past offseason, yes.
Dang. That snake bitten, bro. And is he a free agent after this year or next year?
No, they got another year.
That still sucks, bro.
They got another year for like 18 and a half.
Yeah. The Texans would have packaged Kluber, like had this season gone on probably, I think.
If
who knows?
Healthy,
if they would have been out of it.
Oh, and the kid from the White Sox that we were talking about yesterday, the Lopez kid, Winston Payne, left the arm, first inning, 40 pitches, didn't feel good. Waiting for MRI, but feeling is he might have did something to his elbow too. So there you go.
How much of these injuries you think could be attributed to this impromptu resumption of baseball, coronavirus, like lack of spring training?
I think it all has to do with it because you can't tell me that you after 2 weeks of spring training and inter-squad games that you want to see a guy go on the mound and pitch 6 innings and throw 98 miles an hour. That's not good. That's not good. I'm all the way out on that. You can't tell me that's not healthy. You're telling these guys, listen, shut it down for 4 months. 4 months, literally, shut it down. March 12th is when everything was called. And then you're going to tell me, oh, you come back in 2 weeks, you get abbreviated summer camp gimmick spring training, and then we're ready to go for 60 games. By the way, and it's only in 66 days. I don't know how you're going to not avoid injuries. That's a breeding ground for injuries. Now, the players know what they signed up for, so let's call it spade a spade, but you can't tell me that doesn't play a part in it.
Yeah, that stinks, man. No, I mean, I told you before, like a lot of these pitchers are first time out. We're going 80 pitches. You know, like 80 pitches a lot. You know, first time out. Real pitches. You know, not spring training, like not inter-squad.
Not inter-squad games. Yeah, right.
It's real shit. Fucking The there was something else I wanted to ask you too.
By the way, I don't know. This is not a football related thing, but Jadeveon Clowney is being reportedly has interest in signing with the Jets because the safety that was just acquired by the Jets is trying to bring Jadeveon to Florham Park. But if if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly, the Cowboys got an offer waiting for him already in Dallas. So we'll see if he's able to get him to, change on Jerry Jones and come Don Jet Green, but he's recruiting them, that's for sure.
Actually, I wanted to throw a little impromptu football question at you too.
Go ahead. What's up?
You think that what would you, if you were the Jets, what would you give up to get homeboy that was on the Jaguars, the edge rusher, as far as draft capital, being that they have a little bit more draft capital now?
What edge rush are you talking about in Jacksonville?
That played for Rutgers, I believe.
Man,
from,
I know
Jacksonville.
I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of the brother's name. You know what? I wouldn't even go after him though, because I'm not ready for that yet. I want to build the young core that I have right now. If you tell me that he's the missing link to you winning a Super Bowl, then I do that. But right now, I don't know if I want to make any more trades other than acquiring assets and talent. And then we'll see where we're at in probably the next year or two.
Yeah, I was referring to Yannick Ngakoue.
Ngakoue, here's the thing about that is there's a couple teams that are interested in. I know Denver's interested in him, pairing him with Von Miller. If he goes to the Rams, which is what they really want, pairing him with Aaron Donald would be just insanity if you're able to do that. And then, I know the Browns have talked about possibly making a move for an edge rusher, whether it be Jadeveon Clowney or Ngakoue to pair him with Myles Garrett and the crew in Cleveland. And as a Cleveland Brown fan, I would be 100,000% on board. Like, we need to do yes, but
what do you give up though, draft capital wise? You give up a second for Ngakoue as a Browns fan?
I give up a second and a 4 and see if I can swing it.
What about second and a third next year, or something like that, or second and second next year? Yeah, the only thing I like in Ngakoue's edge rushing ability, I just don't like him against the run for some reason. But the Giants, Jets.
In the modern NFL, they don't run the football anyway. Other than if you got an elite running back that runs the football, you got teams that throw the ball all over a lot. So he would be perfect for the modern NFL because if you're just talking about a pass rusher now, you need to stop the run. I agree with you, but I just don't know if that's a main focus of defenses nowadays.
Yeah, no, a lot of the team I was saying more in terms of because I know the Giants had some interest too, supposedly. I don't think they're really interested though. But
right.
I think he would sort of fit on the Giants in spite of the fact that he doesn't have that good run stop ability. Because if the Giants had a good edge rusher, a lot of those defensive tackles that they have, that rotation to stop the run. Same shit with the Jets. But
you can try to spin this and see. That's a move when the defense is already built. I don't think both teams, either Jets or Giants, should make the Jadeveon Clowney and Ngakoue move. I think you should just wait a little bit, let your defense develop and build, and then if you could swing that, then you do it when the time is right. I just don't know if right now is that time.
Yeah, it's fucking talking football. God damn it, bro! Baseball sucks, bro. Shit. This is the perfect time for baseball to step up, bro. And not over here talking about football that might not even go down, bro.
Football is another thing. We might not get football.
No shit.
We might not get football.
Yo, hold on. I don't know if I was fucking hallucinating this morning. Are they canceling the college football season outright?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
And you know how that makes me feel. Listen, if college football was a woman, I'd get married and have 6 kids. I love me some college football. College football, I sit here on Saturdays like a schoolgirl waiting for college.
Nah, but yo, I'm deading NFL, bro. I've been shifting to college football, bro. Like fucking
Oklahoma, Texas, Alabama,
yeah,
Auburn.
Red River, the fucking
Oh,
mayhem.
oh God.
Sucks,
Uh,
bro. So many dope
oh
games that happen
man.
every. You get hyped
LSU,
with
LSU, Clemson.
yeah,
Oh man,
Texas
we were
against
gonna,
anybody.
and we were gonna get. This is the season. We were gonna get the Alabama like Clemson game from Jerry World, like prime time, and I'm like, you mother. You know how mad I am, bro. You know how broken hearted I am. There's no college football this year. Like you've known me for years, bro. Like college football is love to me. Like I love it. I love it. Like I just picked a team a couple years ago, but I'm I just love watching everybody play. But my Sooners are looking good. Hopefully my Sooners stay healthy, and because I love me some Lincoln Riley. If Lincoln Riley leaves to the NFL, I might publicly cry like in the middle of like life, just be like, I'm done. I can't take this anymore. But
He's a
yeah,
great
man,
coach, man.
no college football.
And he has a nice defense uh
Right.
tandem like of coaches that he's implementing. Oklahoma's defense
That's
always is trash.
Oklahoma. Yeah, getting better.
Not this
Getting
these
better
past
though.
2 years though. They put it up.
Getting better though. But I say this though, it's canceled for now. But I think we're gonna get college football in the spring. If COVID
I'm with
calms
it.
down, I think we get college football in the spring, which I'm all for. Um, it sucks, man, because I don't know how you get an NFL season played. I really don't know how you do that. Like, and even if you get it played, that's 53-man rosters. That's not including coaches, support staff, trainers, and you need boatloads of testing to be able to say, all right, we're gonna play one game. You know how you know it's bad? They canceled the preseason, dog. We're not playing preseason games. You know how many injuries we're gonna get week one because dudes ain't ready to play football? This
No,
is
and NFL
terrible.
players are not as buttoned up and well behaved as MLB players. You
No,
can
no,
have
no,
some
no.
reckless motherfuckers like
And you talking about basketball and baseball players going to the strip club. You give football players nothing to do,
woo,
boy.
dudes that the worst type of dude with money is the one that is not recognizable. And NFL players, 99% of them aren't recognizable because they wear helmets. When they get into the strip clubs, bro, they want people to know who they are. They love going to strip clubs. They love having that hand-to-hand contact with the fans, like if you will.
I play in the NFL. I sack quarterbacks and we gets busy out here. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they waiting for somebody to act a fool. But I'm gonna tell you something real quick before we get off the air, man. This I don't know how we get an NFL season with no bubble, dog.
With
I
no
don't know how
what?
you
Oh,
do
with
this.
no bubble?
You got to put these teams in a bubble, dog. We got to do something, dog.
Yeah.
Something, because I don't know how we do it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yo, honestly, Steph, in spite of with what we've seen happen, like with the MLB, I think they gotta be very locked down with this bubble or no season. That's what they gotta bring it down to. You can't leave the bubble.
That's if they allow. That's if the NFL says, okay, let's do the bubble thing. Because I don't know if they. I don't even know if they allow you to do the bubble thing. How you getting? What I'm saying is, you got to get 32 teams into a bubble, dog. How you doing that? How? How is it feasible? You getting 32 teams plus 53 men, and if somebody gets injured, you got to have somebody to back up. Like it's crazy. Where you putting all this, bro?
Well, they gotta take drastic measures like to try to get it off, or they're not gonna get it off, regardless
I
of
don't
what
think.
sport it is.
Nah, I don't think we have a football season this year. I think the NBA finishes up. I think hockey's going to do extraordinarily well. But I think this getting on planes, traveling from city to city, bad idea. Out on that.
So hockey's still running with the hubs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edmonton and Toronto.
Drastic measures,
And
man. That's the only way we make these seasons happen.
and the way they got the bubble constructed, you ain't getting in or out of there, bro. The NHL, they got security all over the buildings, bro. Nah, dog, nah.
Yeah, and that's crazy too because these NHL players are infamous for bagging shorties, whatever city they go, and they're willing to like lock it up and say, we're gonna play in these hubs and we're gonna,
Right.
abide to the rules. I hope that the bright side out of this, because I know you fucks with hockey like I do, is
Mhm.
that the NHL gets a leg up on maybe basketball, or like that people like start to recognize what a dope sport the NHL is.
They're already getting a leg up because they're basically telling you, listen, we want to make sure that we get a season play with no distractions, we getting everybody in the bubble. And we trying to crown a champion. Like this ain't just this is haphazard. Let's see if we can make it work like baseball. Nah, they want to crown a champion, so credit to them.
Yeah, and hopefully the Rangers, with this young little squad that we got, um, does some damage, which we could do, bro. If
I tell you this though, the two teams I'm watching in hockey right now. Um, watch out for the Islanders because I like the Islanders. I like the squad they're walking in with. And in the Western Conference, I know there's some old geezers, and we tired of talking about them, and we talk about them all the time. Chicago, dog. Chicago is dangerous, dog. You talking about 4 cups in like 8 years? That would be like San Antonio Spurs level greatness right there from the Blackhawks. And they still got the team, Duncan Keith and Jonathan Taves, and they got a team, man. So we see what
yeah,
Chicago does, but these hockey players are gonna be bonkers, bro. I can't wait.
nah, bro, yeah, word up. With
I
the
can't
plan
wait.
that they got in place, hockey's
Word.
ripe to overtake some sports this year, man. Especially if we got lockouts next year.
Yeah, man, we got it. You got to. Big Dog got to jump on. Nickel. He'll break it down, bro. He's excited for hockey season. That's his number one. So he's amped up. He's ready to go.
Nah, man, yeah, we got to bring him on, man. I keep fronting, but
Definitely,
yeah, put some feelers out for our boy, and
definitely.
see if the king of Ada Queens is down to come through.
Listen, all right, don't say that to him in public. He's still a Brooklyn boy. He just resides in Queens right now. He ain't happy about it, but yo, real quick before I let you go, I just wanted to, thank you for giving me this public forum to get out my opinions and news and all this stuff, and hopefully we'll be able to talk some real sports and not lace it with COVID and disease and all this stuff real soon. So
Nah,
we'll see
definitely,
what's
man.
up,
Yo,
man.
like I've always respected your opinion, especially when it comes to sports, and you honor me with your presence on the Foul Playland. So, I mean, if
I
anybody should be
appreciate it,
thanking
man.
anybody, it should be me to you. But I humbly accept your
There we go.
your flowers,
There we
though, man.
go.
Thank you, though. Now, thanks for coming on,
Appreciate it.
Steph. Like, I know you're busy,
Always.
fucking and I hear your phone ring-a-ling-a-linging, fucking and I know that's scoops,
Yeah.
which only makes this show better. Fucking come tomorrow. But maybe we'll come through tomorrow too, bro. There's other shit I want to discuss.
I'm
But
I'm
yeah, let me close
open.
this out though.
I'm
Stay on
open
the
as
line,
long
bro.
as
Talk to you too. But as
I'm
always,
open.
thank you. Yeah,
I'm open as long as this thing doesn't pull me away. But
the
we'll see what's
weapon,
going on, man.
your sword,
Exactly.
your Samsung
Exactly.
sword. Fucking
No, my iPhone tour. We
Oh
team
yeah, your
iPhone.
iPhone. My bad, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let me close this out. Stay on the line so I can speak to you. But for those of you listening on Facebook, I hope you me out on YouTube, subscribe, whatever the fuck you young kids do. For those of you who check me out on Facebook, thanks for coming through. As always, I'm your foul player, and thank you for stepping into the foul playland. With that, peace.